So I won't spend too much time on this one, but this explains kind of how much each NQ and ES are going for basically, and we can do a full breakdown for each one, but I don't really think it's necessary. Once you kind of understand the difference, if you want to know the individual contracts, you can just go on CME Group's website or just do a little Googling or something like that, right? And figure it out. So it's CME Globex. You can go to Ninja Trader and go to their margins page, and they'll tell you all this stuff, right? What you need. So this is what I mean right here. So like micro, E mini, S&P, IBKR, right? If you wanna actually take one contract, IBKR is only requiring $1,000. But you need more than $1,000. You won't be able to take one contract because you won't make the CMEs need, right? So you're gonna want to have about, I would say the minimum account size you could have and comfortably trade would be $4,000, maybe $5,000. I think underneath that you're gonna bump into this margin requirement quite a lot, right? But they offer amazing margin. Ninja brokerage is only like $500 to hold a contract. So that's your minimum cash deposit, right? That you would have to have. You carry one contract, and if it goes under $500, you just get margin called, right? So but CME requires more than 500. CME only allows for maybe like a certain amount of the notional value. So this is what IBKR says, not necessarily what CME says, right? So once you're in, all right, this is where things are going to get fun, and I'm going to talk more about this. We talk about ticks and we talk about points. So each one of these, once you buy the position, right, each one of them has a certain amount of cost or money that you make or lose per tick per point. And we'll talk a little bit about how to figure that out. So the contract value, like we were talking about before, is the price it's as per point per contract, right? So the notional value is when I'm talking about the trading view, right? And I was showing you kind of this here, right? The notional value is going to be this right here, right? The amount that's carried here. So when you're looking at this, you're looking at its notional value, right? So when you're looking at M2K, or let's go with MES, right? Right now, MES's notional value, right, is 6,800. So if you wanted to buy one contract of MES, is it going to cost you $6,800? No, not at all, right? That's just the cost of the contract, and it's actually the cost of the contract times $2. So you actually are going to need 12 grand to carry one contract of MES. But again, because they only require 3% of the notional value to carry it. And I know this is the confusing part, but trust me, once you get trading, you don't have to worry about this. I just want you to know, because they only require about 3% of that notional value, you're really only going to need like $1,000 or so to meet margin on carrying one contract of this, right? So, but again, 4 to 5 grand on an account, I think is what's pretty good to have in there. So NQ, because it's bigger, right, carries a much higher notional, NQ, sorry, one of the things people think that ES is actually the smaller contract. ES is actually the bigger contract, but it moves a lot slower. So NQ, for instance, ES right now moves about 113 points a day, where M&Q moves about 530 points a day. So NQ is actually only $2 per contract per point when it moves, right? But because it moves so fast, you can imagine if it's $2 per point and it moves 500 points that day, how much money is that? Right? It's a G, right? It's a cool G. So it is very possible with just one MNQ and a good move to make $500, because that's only half of the day's ATR, as long as you take a reasonable entry. So most brokers, like I was saying, give you 4 times or even 10 times on your margin. But since the cost of the contract is only 3% of its notional value, that makes them insanely affordable.
Hello, Market Alchemists, and thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it.
please make sure to watch the next episode. And before doing so, like and subscribe.